works on a work object, that will be locked. So it will not be allowed by any other operator to be worked parallelly. So that's the concept of locking. So if I'm just trying to create any work object ID here, so this is PNB-44. This is a work object ID created, and I am one operator. I'm working on this. So if I'm working on this, it should not be allowed by other operator to access the same work object ID at the same time. So PRPC will be having one internal mechanism just to lock the particular work object which is in progress. So if we want, if we are just logging with as another operator, we can able to see this. So let me log into PRPC as another operator. So this is the new operator ID we have created now. So in the real time, where we will be using this is, if I create one work object ID, I will be submitting all these details. The customer will be registered with our organization. And if I just want to send this for the approval to my manager, and if I have two managers, either of those can able to approve this. So if manager one is trying to open this work object and reviewing, at the same time, second manager will not be given access to work on the same work object ID. So that's because of locking. So whenever I open this work object ID, there should be one lock acquired on this. We'll discuss about that. I want to show you the message first. So this work object is an instance of this particular framework class group. No, just click on that. Here I can able to see the particular work object. Just click on that and we can able to see that work object details. Click again, begin. Here we can able to see that PNB-44 is currently being modified by this one. This is the name of the operator. So what I mean to say is, if one operator is trying to access this one work object ID, the same work object cannot be accessed by the another operator. So there should be some place where I will be storing all the locked work objects. No, so PRPC will be maintaining one table and one related class for that. That is sysadmin. Sorry, syslogs. So there will be one class. So if I just create one work object ID, that will be created as an instance of this class. System dash class is one OOTP class, and this will be having all the instances of the logged work objects. So if I just close this, and if I want to check for the instances of this one, so just click on that. So right now there are no logged items. I can able to see all the logged items as an instances in this particular class. That's what I mean to say. So right now we have not opened any of the work object. That's why there will not be lock acquired on any of these work objects. So if I'm trying to create one new work object ID, so as an operator, I'm trying to use this now. So this should be acquired lock, and I should be able to access this. So let us see whether the lock is acquired for this particular work object or not. In order to see the lock, as I told you, it will be created as a one instance of this class. So this is the instance screen. So just click on refresh. We can able to see. We can able to see this particular work object ID got locked because of this operator accessing. So at the same time, if another operator is trying to open the same work object ID, then before opening that, PRPC will be looking whether that kind of work object ID is there in this syslogs or not. So in this case, that particular work object ID will be available here. That is, it will be locked here, and that's why it will be throwing some error message saying this particular work object is locked by some other operator. So before opening of any work object ID, PRPC will be looking for the records of this class. So if no records are found, it will not be throwing any error. We can able to access the particular work object ID. If the record is matching here, then it will be throwing an error saying like that it's been locked. So for every concrete class, there should be one table mapped to that. No? So even for the instances of this class, there should be one table dedicated to that, and these all the logged records should be stored into the table also. No? So we can able to see the table linked using test connection. Go to definition and click on test connection. We can able to see one dedicated table which is connected to this class, so that I can able to see all the records which are the instances here can able to see there as in records. Even in the database also we can able to see. So for that we will be using definition. So this is one way of seeing, and I have we already showed you the second way where we can able to find the database table. So if I just want to create any kind of rules for any class, what we'll be doing, we'll be using the create option, and these are all the rule categories, and we'll be creating corresponding rules. Similarly, if I want to see any kind of rules, I should be using this view option. So go to view, and under sysadmin there will be one rule called database table. So if I just click on here, I can able to see the relationship between this class and particular table. So this class is mapped to this table. So the same table will be getting it in the test connection also. That we already know. I'm just trying to tell you the other way. So if you just click on this, I can able to see the database information and schema. So these are all the details. So this particular table has been mapped to this table of this database. So this is the table name. So if we know the table name, we can able to open the database and check it here. So this is the class. So this is the table, and we should be having one record here, no? So what are the instances we are seeing here? Those instances should be stored here also. So for that, just click on view all rows. I should be seeing one record here. So for any class, if we want to identify the key, what should we be doing? We should be identifying the class key for that. So there should be one primary key for that, no? So this is the primary key of this class. So for any concrete class, there should be one key, and this is the primary key, primary class key class, and based on this only records will be stored. So the same thing here also we can able to see. This is the work object ID, which will be considered as an unique one, and this is the name of the operator who has logged in. Similarly, I can able to see the same details in database record also. So this is the record. There is one record which is logged here. So if I just want to know the information of that record, we should be seeing it with the class key first thing, that is px lock handle. So there will be one column called px lock handle where it will be maintaining the work object ID. So this is the column name. So this will be the unique one, and it will be having the work object ID details. So this particular work object ID has to be logged by some operator. So we have to identify the operator name also. So this is the one, px create operator. So px create operator is one column where we can able to identify the operator who is currently working on, and px lock handle is the column where we can able to identify the work object ID. Okay, this is similar to PZ and SK. I'll tell you about that later. So these two are the important columns where I can able to identify the work object ID and as well as the operator who is logging. Now, if I just work on this, if I resolve this work object, if I completely close this work object, then PRPC will be automatically removing this record from the database. It will be performing obj delete internally. It will be removing the record. It will be performing the commit operation. Then whenever the next operator, whenever he's trying to access this particular work object like PNB 44, then he will not be getting any issues. Why? Because before opening any work object ID, PRPC has to check into this particular class or table. If that particular record is matching, then it will be throwing the error. So once I close this open work object, then PRPC will be performing commit internally to delete it, and it will be clearing the record from the database, and it will not be throwing any error for the next operator. So that's the concept of locking. So the main thing what you have to remember here is all the work objects logged will be stored as an instances in the system logs. This is the class name, and the table mapped to this syslogs is prsyslogs. So this is the name of the table. So in this table, there will be two main columns, that is px create operator who is locking that particular work object ID, who is currently working on that particular work object, and px lock handle. So this is the work object ID where of that particular instance. This is what we can able to understand using this locking.